6 months after the Void Gate breakthrough, Commander Deho barely recognized the galaxy he lived in. He stood in his new office aboard Nexus Prime, now serving as Director of Human-Galactic Relations. Through his window, he could see ships from dozens of worlds using the Void Gate network that humans had unlocked. Species that had never met before were now neighbors. A soft chime announced his first appointment of the day. High Calculator Xanth entered, but he looked very different from the proud, cold being Deho remembered. The Vorthak's crystalline body glowed with warmer colors, and his voice had lost its harsh edge. "Commander Deho," Xanth said, "I bring a request from the Vorthak High Council. What can we do for you? We have been studying human problem-solving methods for months. We are beginning to understand creativity, but we need help with something more difficult. Which is fun." Xanth's crystal body flickered with embarrassment. "Our species has spent so long focused on pure logic that we have forgotten how to enjoy ourselves. We work constantly, but we are not happy." Deho smiled. "I think we can help with that. Dr. Mi Young has been working with other species on exactly this problem." The next appointment was even more surprising. A Kalari worker entered alone, something that would have been impossible before the humans arrived. The insect-like being moved nervously, clearly uncomfortable being separated from the collective. I am Keeper of Questions," the Kalari said, in a voice that was entirely her own. "I chose this name myself." "That's wonderful," Deho said. "How can I help you?" "The Queen Node wants to start an exchange program. Some of our workers will learn to think individually, while some humans learn to share thoughts with others. We believe both approaches have value. We'd be honored to participate." The morning continued with a parade of requests that would have seemed impossible just months before. The warlike Drakons wanted human teachers to help them find peaceful solutions to conflicts. The ancient etheric collective asked for help understanding young species they had dismissed for centuries. Most surprising of all, the Luxari had requested physical bodies so they could experience emotions and creativity the way humans did. Dr. Sora found Deho during his lunch break. She looked tired but happy, having spent the morning in the new interspecies problem-solving center that had been built around the original Void Gate. "How are the new projects going?" Deho asked. "Amazing," Sora said. "Remember that dying star the Altran Republic asked us to fix? We solved it yesterday." "How?" "The Altrans had been trying to restart it with pure energy. Very logical, but it wasn't working. Then Jaywuk suggested we ask the star what was wrong." Deho laughed. "He wanted to talk to a star? Why not? It worked with the Void Gate. Turns out the star wasn't just running out of fuel, it was lonely. It had been isolated for millions of years while its partner stars burned out. We connected it to a younger star system using Void Gate technology. Now both systems are healthier and brighter. That's incredible. The best part is how we figured it out. We had Vorthak mathematicians, Kalari collective thinkers, Luxari, energy beings, and humans all working together. Each species contributed something different. Admiral Dong Hyun entered the cafeteria, wearing the new uniform of the Human Galactic Engineering Corps. He had been promoted from captain after successfully leading the first mixed-species exploration mission through the Void Gate network. "Commander, Dr. Sora," he said, sitting with them. "I have news from the Outer Rim." "Good news, I hope," Deho said. "The best. We've made contact with 12 new species in the past month. All of them want to join the Galactic Consortium, and all of them specifically requested human teachers." "Why?" Sora asked. "Word is spreading about our methods. Species across the galaxy are hearing that humans solve problems not through conquest or pure logic, but through friendship and creativity. They want to learn those skills." Professor Sunhee joined their table, carrying a datapad full of reports. She had been appointed to lead the new Interspecies Problem-Solving Institute, where beings from across the galaxy came to learn human-style cooperation. "The applications keep pouring in," she said. "We have a waiting list of over 300 species who want to send students to our programs." "What kinds of problems are they bringing us?" Deho asked. "Everything you can imagine." The spiral. Federation can't agree on trade policies. Their negotiators are too logical and keep getting stuck in loops. The crystal monks have a spiritual crisis because their meditation techniques stopped working. The machine collective wants to understand biological creativity. And we're helping with all of these? Not just us, Sun He said. We're teaching other species to help each other. The Vorthak are learning to use creativity in their mathematics. The Kalari are experimenting with individual expression. Even the Luxari are trying to remember what wonder feels like. That afternoon, Daeho visited the original laboratory where everything had started. The void gate still hummed quietly in its chamber, but now it was surrounded by dozens of smaller devices that alien species had built using the principles they learned from humans. Engineer Bo Min was there, working with a mixed team of humans and aliens on a new project. His hair was grayer than before, but his eyes sparkled with the same curiosity that had helped solve the original puzzle. "What are you building?" Daeho asked. "A communication network," Bowman said. "Not just for data, but for emotions and ideas. The gardeners left instructions for it in the deep files of the Void Gate system. Emotions? Imagine being able to share what you're feeling with someone on the other side of the galaxy. Not just words, but the actual experience of joy, wonder, love or hope." A young Vorthak named Clearbell was working beside Bowman, her crystal body glowing with excitement. "We are learning that mathematics can be beautiful," she said. "Human teacher Bowman showed us how numbers can make music. And she's teaching me how to think in multiple dimensions at once," Bowman added. "Turns out human brains are more flexible than we thought." As evening approached, Daeho made his way to the observation deck for a meeting that had become a daily tradition. Representatives from dozens of species gathered there every day to share what they had learned and plan new projects. Tonight, the discussion focused on the most ambitious plan yet, a galactic exploration mission to search for other networks left behind by the gardeners. "The deep space sensors have detected at least 17 possible sites," reported Captain Wu Jin, now leading the exploration division. "Each one could contain technology and knowledge we can't even imagine. And each one will probably require a different approach to unlock," added Mi Young. "The gardeners seemed to enjoy creating puzzles that tested different aspects of civilization. That's why we need mixed crews," said Yunji. "Humans for creativity, Vorthak for analysis, Kalari for cooperation, Luxari for energy manipulation, and dozens of other species for skills we haven't even discovered yet." High Calculator Zenth, who had become one of the project's biggest supporters, projected a holographic star chart. "The nearest site is only 3 months away using the Void Gate network. We could have an answer within a year." "What if we find something dangerous?" asked Keeper of Questions, the Kalari who had learned to think for herself. "Then we'll figure out how to handle it together," Daeho said. "That's what we do now." As the meeting ended and the various species returned to their ships and stations, Daeho remained on the observation deck. Through the massive windows he could see the lights of ships from across the galaxy, all working together on projects that would have been impossible just months before. Dr. Sora found him there, as she often did during these quiet moments. "Thinking about Earth?" she asked. "Actually, I was thinking about the future," Daeho said. "When I was young, I dreamed of humans exploring the stars. I never imagined we'd end up teaching the whole galaxy how to be human." "Is that what we're doing?" "In a way. We're showing them that the best solutions don't always come from being the smartest or the strongest. Sometimes they come from being curious, kind, and willing to try impossible things." A message alert chimed on Daeho's communicator. Another species had sent a request for help with an ancient mystery they couldn't solve. This time, it was the Far Reach Coalition, asking for assistance with a space-time anomaly that had puzzled them for generations. "What do you think?" Sora asked, reading the message over his shoulder. Daeho smiled. "I think we should ask it nicely what's wrong and see if it wants to be friends." They both laughed, but they weren't really joking. In the new galaxy that humans had helped create, friendship and wonder were the most powerful tools for solving any problem. Outside the observation deck, the stars twinkled with possibilities. Somewhere out there, the gardener's other gifts waited to be discovered. And when they were found, They would be unlocked not through force or pure logic, but through the most human approach of all, making friends with the impossible. The galaxy had learned to think like humans, and that had changed everything. The alarm bells rang across Earth Defense Station Alpha like thunder in space. Admiral Kyung-ho ran down the metal hallway, his boots making loud sounds on the floor. Red lights flashed everywhere. His heart was beating fast. "Sir, you need to see this," Lieutenant Hana called out from the main control room. Her voice was shaking. She had never seen anything like this before. Kyung-ho rushed into the room. Big screens covered the walls. On the biggest screen, he saw something that made his blood run cold. Hundreds of dark ships filled the space near Earth. They were huge, much bigger than any human ship ever built. "How many?" he asked quietly. "Over 1,000 ships, sir," said Corporal Dae-hyun from his computer station. His hands were shaking as he typed. "They appeared out of nowhere 10 minutes ago. Our sensors couldn't see them coming." The alien ships looked like giant metal beasts. They had sharp edges and glowing red lights. Some ships were as big as cities. The smallest ones were still bigger than Earth's largest battleship. They moved in perfect lines, like a deadly dance in space. "Sir, we're getting a message," Dae-hyun said. "It's coming from their biggest ship." "Put it on screen," Kyung-ho ordered. The screen changed. A terrible face appeared. It had green scales, yellow eyes, and sharp teeth like knives. The creature looked at them with hate and anger. "Primitive species of Sol 3, the alien said. Its voice was deep and scary. "I am War Commander Vektar of the Vorthak Empire. You have broken our laws. You have gone where you should not go." Kyung-ho felt cold. Sol 3 was what aliens called Earth. These creatures had been watching humanity for a long time. 3 weeks. "Ego, your ship entered restricted space," Vektar continued. "You touched what belongs to us. This cannot be forgiven." Lieutenant Hana looked at Kyung-ho with wide eyes. They both knew what the alien was talking about. Captain Minsu and his exploration ship New Sol had found something on planet Kepler 442b, an ancient alien machine buried in ice. Minsu had reported it as a great discovery. Now it seemed like a great mistake. "You will surrender now," Vektar said. "Submit to Vorthak rule or we will destroy your species. You have 72 standard hours to decide. Choose wisely, primitive ones." The screen went black. Nobody spoke for a long moment. The control room was so quiet they could hear the air moving through the vents. Finally, Kyung-ho broke the silence. "Get me President Lee Jae-won. Now." 2 hours later, the most important people on Earth sat around a big table in the underground war room. President Lee Jae-won looked tired. Defense Minister Park Yoon-ji was reading reports on her tablet. General Woo Jin studied star maps. Admiral So Young checked weapon lists. "Tell me we have options," President Lee said. General Woo Jin shook his head. "Our entire space fleet has 47 ships. Most are patrol boats and transports. We have 3 carriers, but they're old. The aliens have over 1,000 ships and each one is bigger than our best battleship." "What about our orbital defense platforms?" asked Defense Minister Park. 12 platforms around Earth," Admiral So Young replied. "Good against asteroids and small attacks. Against this fleet?" She shook her head. "Like throwing rocks at tigers, Captain." Minsu entered the room. He had traveled from the outer colonies as fast as possible. His face was red with shame. "Mr. President, I'm sorry," he said. "If I had known—" "Captain," President Lee held up his hand. "Tell us exactly what you found." Minsu sat down hard in his chair. "We were mapping system Kepler 442. Standard exploration. We found ruins on the 4th planet. Ancient structures. Under the ice and in the center a machine. It was beautiful. Made of metal that we'd never seen before. It was still working after millions of years." "Did you take anything?" General Woo Jin asked. "Just scans and photos. We followed all the rules. We didn't touch anything." Minsu looked around the table. "But when we started scanning, the machine lit up. Bright blue light. Then it went dark again." You activated something, Defense Minister Park said quietly. It must have sent a signal, Admiral Kyung-ho added. That's how they found us. President Lee stood up and walked to the big window. Outside he could see the lights of the city. Millions of people going about their normal lives. They didn't know that alien warships were waiting to destroy everything they loved. Options? He asked. We could try to fight, General Wu Jin said, but we would lose. Badly. We could surrender, Defense Minister Park suggested. Maybe they would let some humans live as slaves. Or, Admiral So-young said slowly, we could try something else. Everyone looked at her. What do you mean? President? Lee asked. Admiral So-young smiled, but it was not a happy smile. They called us primitive. They think we're just another weak species, but they don't know everything about us. What are you talking about? General Wu Jin asked. Project Lazarus, So-young said quietly. The room went silent. Project Lazarus was Earth's most secret program. Only 5 people in the room knew about. Defense Minister Park leaned forward. Is it ready? The basic systems, yes. But we need time. We don't have time, Captain Minsu said. They gave us 72 hours. Then we buy time, President Lee said. He turned to face the group. Admiral Kyung-ho, send a message to the aliens. Tell them we want to talk. Sir? Tell them we surrender. Tell them we want to discuss terms. General Wu Jin looked shocked. Mr. President, we're not really surrendering, Lee said with a cold smile. We're going to do what humans do best. Which is? Admiral So-young asked. We're going to lie. To them. We're going to make them think we're weak and scared, and while they're laughing at us, we're going to prepare. Captain Minsu stood up. What can I do? Go back to your ship. Act normal, but keep your crew ready. President Lee looked around, the table at each person. Ladies and gentlemen, these aliens think they know about humans. They think we're primitive. They think we're easy prey. He walked back to the window and looked up at the dark sky. Somewhere up there, alien warships waited to destroy his world. They're about to learn why that's a fatal mistake. Defense Minister, Park smiled for the first time that day. What's the plan, sir? President Lee turned back to the group. His eyes were hard as steel. We're going to show them that when humans say hello to the universe, we're not being friendly. We're choosing our targets. Admiral Kyung-ho nodded. I'll send the surrender message. Make it sound desperate, President Lee ordered. Make them think we're terrified. We are terrified, General Wu Jin said honestly. Good, the President replied. Fear makes humans dangerous. And these aliens are about to discover just how dangerous scared humans can be. As the meeting ended, each person left with their orders. None of them spoke about what they were really thinking. They were scared. The odds were impossible. The aliens were stronger, bigger, and had better technology. But humans had something the aliens didn't expect. Humans had been preparing for this day for a very long time. Outside, the stars looked peaceful and quiet. But space was full of alien ships waiting to destroy Earth. They thought it would be easy. They were wrong. Admiral Kyung-ho stood in front of the big communication screen. His hands were shaking, but not from fear. He was acting. Behind him, Lieutenant Hana and Corporal Dae-hyun watched carefully. They knew this was all fake, but they had to make it look real. Great War Commander Vector, Kyung-ho said in a weak voice. We surrender. Humanity does not want to fight the mighty Vorthak Empire. On the screen, the alien leader smiled with his sharp teeth. His yellow eyes glowed with pleasure. Wise choice, primitive human. You understand your place. We beg for mercy, Kyung-ho continued. He made his voice sound scared and small. Please don't destroy our world. We will serve the Vorthak Empire. Vector laughed. It was a horrible sound like metal breaking. You will serve, yes, but first we must see what pathetic technology you have. We want to know if you have anything useful. Of course, Great Commander. We will show you everything we have. Good. We will meet on your moon called Titan. Bring your leaders. Bring your best technology. Show us why we should let your species live." The screen went dark. Kyung-ho turned to his officers. "It worked. They think we're terrified." "We are terrified," Dae-hyun said quietly. "That's what makes us good at this," Lieutenant Hana replied with a small smile. 3 days later, a small human ship landed on Titan. The ship looked old and rusty. Inside, Dr. Yoon Soo-jin checked her equipment one more time. She was Earth's best scientist who studied aliens. Today, she had to act like Earth's most scared diplomat. "Remember," said Kim Tae-ri, Earth's top diplomat, "we need to look weak but not completely useless. We want them curious, not bored." Captain Min-soo nodded. He still felt guilty about finding the alien machine. But now he had a chance to help. Fix things. "My ship's computers have all the fake information ready. The real data is hidden where they can't find it." Their ship was met by a huge Vorthak vessel. The alien ship was black metal with red lights. It looked like a giant spider in space. Human soldiers walked out first, but they looked nervous and weak. Their weapons were old models, and their uniforms were simple. The Vorthak soldiers were twice as tall as humans. They had green scales, big muscles, and carried weapons that hummed with energy. They looked at the humans like tigers looking at mice. War Commander Vektar waited in a large room. The walls were covered with weapons from conquered worlds. Hundreds of different alien tools of death hung like trophies. "So," Vektar said, looking down at the humans, "these are the creatures who found our sacred machine." Dr. Yoon Soo-jin stepped forward. She made herself look small and scared. "Great Commander, we meant no harm. We are just explorers. We didn't know the machine belonged to anyone." "Ignorance is not an excuse," Vektar growled. "But you interest me. Your species has spread to many star systems in just a few hundred years. Most primitive species take thousands of years to leave their home world." Kim Tae-ri bowed deeply. "We are fast learners, Great Commander. We copy technology from crashed meteors and old ruins. We are very good at copying things." This was partly true. Humans were excellent at copying and improving technology. But they didn't mention that they had been copying alien technology for much longer than anyone knew. "Show me," Vektar demanded. Captain Min-soo activated a small device. A hologram appeared showing human ships and weapons. Everything looked simple and basic. The ships were slow. The weapons were weak. The technology was primitive. "This is your best?" Vektar asked. He sounded disappointed. "Yes, Great Commander," Dr. Yoon Soo-jin said sadly. "We know our technology is poor compared to the mighty Vorthak Empire. But we learn fast. If you teach us, we can serve you better." Vektar walked around the humans like a predator circling prey. "Perhaps you can be useful? Your species breeds quickly and works hard. We can use workers." "We live to serve," Kim Tae-ri said, bowing again. "But first," Vektar said with a cruel smile, "we will inspect your home system. We will see your pathetic defenses. We will catalog your primitive ships. Then we decide if you live or die." "Of course, Great Commander, we welcome your inspection." Vektar laughed again. "You have no choice, little human. My inspection fleet will arrive at your Jupiter in 2 days. They will examine everything. Do not try to hide anything from us." "We would never dare," Dr. Yoon Soo-jin promised. The human ship left Titan and flew toward Earth. Inside, the 3 humans sat quietly until they were sure no aliens could hear them. "Did you get it?" Kim Tae-ri asked. Dr. Yoon Soo-jin smiled and held up a small device. "Every word, voice patterns, language structure, even biological data from when he breathed on me." "Disgusting," Captain Min-soo said. "Did you see how he looked at us?" "Like we were insects," Kim Tae-ri agreed, "which is exactly what we wanted." Their ship flew past Jupiter. It looked normal, just a big planet with many moons. But if the aliens looked carefully, they might notice that some of the moons were in slightly different positions than they should be. On Europa, Commander Choi Hyun-woo watched the human ship pass by. His secret base was hidden under kilometers of ice. "Did they buy it?" he asked his assistant. "Completely," Engineer Lim Da-eun replied. "They think we're primitive scavengers who copy technology from ruins." "Perfect. How's Project Lazarus?" Ready? For testing. The quantum drive is stable, the phase generators are online, and the gravitational manipulators are working perfectly. Commander Choi smiled. Good. In 2 days, those aliens are going to see some very interesting primitive technology. On Mars, Dr. Park Kite worked in his secret laboratory. Red dust covered everything outside, but inside, the most advanced equipment in human space hummed quietly. His team had been working on the alien machine's secrets for weeks. Doctor, his assistant called out, we've decoded another section of the alien data. Dr. Park looked at the screen. Numbers and symbols filled the display. What does it say? It's a map. Star positions, fleet movements, communication frequencies. This machine wasn't just sending a signal, it was updating a military database. Dr. Park felt cold. They've been tracking us for a long time. Yes, but doctor, there's more. The machine also downloaded our computer systems when Captain Minsu scanned it. They have our star maps, our ship designs, our population data. Do they know about our secret projects? No. Captain Minsu's ship only had standard exploration data. All our military secrets are still safe. Dr. Park nodded. Good. Continue. Decoding. We need to know everything before their inspection fleet arrives. Admiral So Young stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Seoul. Around her, the ship looked old and simple. The walls were painted basic gray. The equipment looked outdated. But it was all fake. Status report, she ordered. All ships are ready, Admiral, her officer replied. The false hulls are in place. The fake weapons are showing on all sensors. The real systems are hidden and ready. And the quantum field generators? Stable and invisible. The aliens won't detect them until we want them to. So Young looked out at space. In 2 days, alien ships would arrive expecting to find weak, scared humans flying primitive spacecraft. Instead, they would see exactly what humans wanted them to see. Send a message to all ships, she ordered. Remember, we are frightened humans with old ships and simple weapons. Act scared. Act weak. Let them think they're inspecting defeated primitives. Yes, Admiral. So Young smiled. The Vorthak thought they were so smart. They thought humans were just another primitive species to conquer. They had no idea that humans had been preparing for this moment for generations. In 48 hours, the real show would begin, and the aliens would start to learn that there was a big difference between appearing weak and actually being weak. Humans had been playing this game for a very long time. War Commander Thekeval led 50 Vorthak ships toward Jupiter. His fleet was small but powerful. Each ship could destroy a human city. He expected this inspection to be boring. Primitive humans with simple technology. Nothing interesting. Commander, his officer called out, we're detecting human ships ahead. How many? Thekeval asked without interest. 20 ships, sir. They appear to be patrol vessels and 1 destroyer. Thekeval looked at the screen. The human ships looked old and weak, gray metal hulls with simple designs. Slow-moving and clumsy. Pathetic. These creatures think these toys can protect them. Sir, the human destroyer is approaching. They're sending a message. Put it on screen. Captain Han Bora appeared on the display. She looked nervous and scared. Her ship's bridge looked basic and outdated. Great Vorthak Commander, welcome to our system. We are here to escort you and show you our technology. Your technology? Thekeval laughed. I can see your technology from here. That rust bucket you call a destroyer is older than my youngest offspring. Yes, sir. We know our ships are poor, but we maintain them well. Please, follow us. We will show you everything. Captain Han Bora's ship, the Incheon, turned and began moving toward Jupiter, but something strange happened. The ship seemed to flicker. For just a moment it looked different, bigger, more advanced. Did you see that? Thekeval's officer asked. See what? The human ship. It looked different for a second. Thekeval stared at the screen. The human destroyer looked normal again, old and simple. Your eyes are playing tricks. Focus on the mission. The Vorthak fleet followed the human ships deeper into the Jupiter system. They passed several asteroids, mining stations, sat on the rocks looking abandoned and primitive. "Commander," another officer reported, "I'm getting strange readings from those mining stations." "What kind of readings?" "Energy signatures that don't match their apparent technology level." Before Tekval could respond, something impossible happened. The human destroyer Incheon flew straight through a large asteroid, not around it, through it, like the rock wasn't there at all. "What was that?" Tekval shouted. Captain Hanbora's voice came over the radio. She sounded casual, like nothing strange had happened. "Oh, that's just our quantum tunneling drive. We thought everyone had those." "Quantum tunneling drive?" Tekval's science officer checked his computers frantically. "Commander, that technology shouldn't exist. The energy requirements alone would—" "Sir," another officer interrupted. "Look at the human frigate." Lieutenant Commander Bae Sung-min's ship, the Daegu, was in 3 places at once, 3 identical ships moving in formation. Then they became one ship again. "Quantum duplication field," Bae Sung-min explained over the radio. "Standard equipment on our patrol ships, very useful for confusing enemies." Tekval's claws dug into his command chair. This was impossible. These technologies were theoretical at best. Even the Vorthak Empire couldn't build them. "Commander," his communications officer said quietly, "I think we should—" Suddenly, the space around them filled with human ships. Dozens of vessels appeared from nowhere. They had been invisible, hiding in empty space. Admiral So Young's flagship, the Seoul, materialized directly in front of the Vorthak fleet. It was huge, much bigger than it had appeared in their intelligence reports. The hull rippled with energy fields that bent light around it. "Greetings, Vorthak Inspection Fleet," Admiral So Young said pleasantly. "Welcome to our home system. I hope you're enjoying our little demonstration." "How are you doing this?" Tekval demanded. "These technologies are impossible." "Impossible?" Dr. Yoon Soo-jin's voice joined the conversation from another ship. "We've been using quantum manipulation for decades. We learned it from studying old ruins. Didn't your people ever find ruins like that?" Tekval's mind raced. The ruins. Ancient sites scattered across the galaxy. The Vorthak had found many of them, but the technology was always too advanced to understand. How had these primitive humans figured it out? "You're lying," he growled. "You cannot have this technology. Our scientists have studied those ruins for centuries." "Maybe your scientists aren't as smart as ours," Captain Hanbora suggested sweetly. Around the Vorthak fleet, more human ships appeared. Some materialized from behind moons. Others phased into normal space from some other dimension. A few seemed to appear inside asteroids and then fly out as if the rock meant nothing. "This is a trick," Tekval insisted. "Holographs, illusions." "Would you like a closer look?" Admiral So Young asked. Before Tekval could answer, armed figures appeared on his bridge. Human soldiers wearing strange armor that seemed to bend light around them. They had teleported directly onto his ship. Colonel Park Jun-ho removed his helmet and smiled at the shocked aliens. Personal teleportation devices, very handy for inspections. The human soldiers moved through the Vorthak ship like ghosts. They walked through walls, appeared in sealed rooms, and recorded everything with devices that seemed to work by magic. "How did you get past our shields?" Tekval demanded. "Shields?" Colonel Park looked confused. "Oh, you mean those energy barriers? We just phased through them. Don't your people use quantum phase technology?" More human soldiers appeared throughout the Vorthak fleet. They were on every ship, observing everything, recording all the alien technology. But they didn't attack. They just watched and learned. "Consider this a friendly inspection of your technology," Admiral So Young transmitted to all Vorthak ships. "We're curious about your advanced civilization." "This is impossible," Tekval whispered. "You're primitives, scavengers. You steal technology from ruins." "That's right," Dr. Yoon Soo-jin agreed cheerfully. "We're very good at stealing, and we've been stealing for a very long time." One of Tekval's officers leaned close to him. "Commander, our sensors are detecting microscopic devices throughout our ships. They planted something when they appeared. Trackers? More than that, they're learning everything about our systems. Ship designs, weapons, navigation, communication codes. Everything. Thekval felt cold fear creeping up his spine. This wasn't an inspection, this was intelligence gathering. The humans were studying them like laboratory specimens. "You may return to your fleet now," Admiral So-Young announced. "Thank you for letting us examine your technology. Very interesting designs, quite advanced for your level of development." The human soldiers disappeared as suddenly as they had appeared. The human ships began to fade from view, becoming invisible again. Soon, only the original escort ships remained. Captain Han Bora's voice came over the radio one more time. "We hope you enjoyed your visit to our system. Please give our regards to your Grand Admiral. Tell him we look forward to meeting him soon." "This isn't over," Thekval snarled. "Oh, we know," Captain Han Bora replied. "It's just beginning." The Vorthak inspection fleet raced back toward their main armada. Thekval's hands were shaking as he sent his report to Grand Admiral Zekthul. "The humans are not what they appear to be," he transmitted. "They have technology that shouldn't exist. Quantum manipulation, phase shifting, teleportation. They made us look like children playing with toys." "Impossible," came the reply. "You're seeing illusions. Fear is making you imagine things." "Sir, I know what I saw. These creatures are dangerous, more dangerous than any species we've ever encountered." "Enough. You will not spread panic with wild stories. Prepare for the real attack. We will crush these primitives and show you what real power looks like." But as the inspection fleet rejoined the main armada, something was different. Every Vorthak ship now carried invisible passengers, microscopic quantum trackers that would report everything back to Earth. The humans now knew the position, speed, and destination of every enemy vessel. Grand Admiral Zekthul still believed humans were primitive. He still thought this would be an easy conquest. He was about to learn how wrong he was. On Earth, Admiral Kyung-ho studied the intelligence reports from the inspection. "Perfect," he said to his staff. "They still think we're just lucky primitives who found some old technology." "What's our next move?" Lieutenant Hana asked. Kyung-ho smiled coldly. "Now we show them what happens when you threaten humanity's home." The real war was about to begin. Grand Admiral Zekthul was angry, very angry. His yellow eyes glowed like fire as he read War Commander Thekval's report again. Quantum technology, phase shifting, teleportation. It was all impossible. Lies, he growled to his command staff. Fear makes warriors see things that are not there. These humans are primitives with old ships and simple weapons. "But sir," his science officer said carefully, "what if—" "Silence!" Zekethul's roar echoed through the bridge. "I have conquered 47 worlds. I have destroyed species that were truly advanced. These humans are nothing. Insects playing with technology they found in ruins. Around the massive Vorthak flagship, 1,000 warships waited for orders. The largest fleet the galaxy had ever seen. Ships the size of cities, armed with weapons that could crack planets. No species had ever survived an attack like this. All ships, Zekthul commanded, advance on the human homeworld. We will show these primitives what real power looks like." The armada began moving toward Earth. It was a sight that would have terrified any civilized species, a wall of metal and death stretching across space. But the humans seemed to be doing nothing. Their few ships stayed near their home planet, looking small and helpless. "Sir," the navigation officer reported, "we will reach Earth in 6 hours." "Good. Signal all ships. When we arrive, we will—" The words died in Zekthul's throat. Something was happening. Space itself seemed to be tearing open. A bright blue hole appeared right in the middle of his fleet formation. A human battleship came through the hole. Not just any battleship. The biggest human ship anyone had ever seen. It was massive, covered in weapons, and glowing with strange energy. "I am Captain Yoon Seo-jun of the Earth battleship Busan," a voice announced. "Welcome to our neighborhood." The Busan had appeared inside the Vorthak fleet, surrounded by enemy ships, but instead of being destroyed, It started fighting. And winning. Weapons fired from the human ship, but these weren't normal weapons. Beams of pure energy that passed right through Vorthak's shields like they weren't there. They hit armor and made it disappear. Just gone. Not melted or broken. Gone. Impossible! Zekthul screamed. Nothing can pass through our shields. Sir, his weapons officer shouted. Our shields aren't stopping anything. Their weapons are attacking us at the quantum level. More tiers in space opened around the fleet. Human ships poured through. Ships that looked nothing like the primitive vessels. From the intelligence reports, these were sleek, deadly, and moving impossibly fast. Commander Lee Hyojin's carrier group appeared from behind Pluto. Thousands of small fighter ships launched from the carriers. But these fighters moved like they were alive. They turned and twisted in ways that should have killed their pilots. How are they moving like that? Zekthul's tactical officer asked in fear. Major Kim Young-ho's voice came over the radio from one of the fighters. Quantum-entangled neural interfaces. We think as one mind, fight as one body. The human fighters attacked like a swarm of deadly insects. They moved together perfectly, striking weak points that Vorthak computers couldn't even detect. Vorthak ships began exploding one after another. This is impossible, Zekthul roared. Where did they get this technology? From you, came a new voice. Admiral Park Min-jung appeared on the communication screen. She was smiling coldly. From every species you've conquered, from every ship you've destroyed, we've been watching, learning, preparing. You're lying. Am I? Tell me, Grand Admiral, how many species have you destroyed in the last 1,000 years? How many civilizations have you wiped out? Zekthul's blood ran cold. How do you know about... We know everything. Every world you've conquered, every technology you've stolen, every species you've destroyed. We've been studying you for centuries. Around the Vorthak fleet, space began to change. Every piece of metal, every ice asteroid, every space station started moving. They were turning, aligning, pointing toward the Vorthak ships. What is happening? Zekthul's science officer screamed. Admiral Park Min-jung's smile grew wider. The Soul Mirror Array. Every reflective surface in our solar system, working together. The sun's light began to focus. Billions of mirrors and reflective surfaces captured the star's energy and aimed it like a weapon. A beam of pure solar fire lanced out across space. The beam hit the center of the Vorthak fleet. 20 ships disappeared instantly. Not destroyed, vaporized, turned into gas and scattered into space. Retreat, Zekthul ordered. All ships retreat. But it was too late. Human ships were everywhere. They appeared and disappeared like ghosts. They attacked from impossible angles. They used weapons that ignored every known law of physics. Captain Jung Hanul's exploration fleet revealed the worst truth of all. These weren't just human ships. They were human bases. Secret installations on dozens of worlds that the Vorthak had thought were empty. We've been here all along, Captain Jung said pleasantly. Hidden, watching, learning about you. How long? Zekthul whispered. Since your first conquest. Every time you destroyed a world, we saved some of its people. Every time you stole technology, we stole it from you. Every time you thought you were spreading fear, you were teaching us how to fight you. The Vorthak fleet was falling apart. Ships that had conquered worlds were being destroyed by humans they had thought were primitives. The greatest military force in the galaxy was being beaten by a species that had seemed helpless just hours ago. Sir, Zekthul's communication officer called out. The other Vorthak fleets are reporting the same thing. Human ships are attacking all across our empire. They're everywhere. Zekthul felt true fear for the first time in his life. How many ships do they have? Unknown, sir. They keep appearing from nowhere. Our intelligence was completely wrong. The Grand Admiral looked at his screens. Half his fleet was gone. The survivors were running in panic. The humans weren't just defending their home. They were hunting down every Vorthak ship they could find. Signal all remaining ships, he ordered quietly. Full retreat. Back to Vorthak space. Sir, what about the invasion? Sekthul closed his eyes. There is no invasion. We have awakened something terrible, something that has been preparing for us for a very long time. As the broken Vorthak fleet limped away from Earth, human ships followed them, not to destroy them completely, but to make sure they understood the message. Admiral Kyung-ho's voice followed them across space. You came to our home because you thought we were weak. You threatened our families because you thought we were defenseless. You tried to destroy our world because you thought we were primitive. But you made one mistake, Grand Admiral. You thought that when humans explore the galaxy, we're just wandering around randomly. You thought we were innocent children playing with toys we found. You were wrong. When humans say hello to the universe, we're not being friendly. We're choosing our next students. And class is now in session. The Vorthak fleet continued its shameful retreat, while behind them human ships began moving toward the galactic core. The message was clear. The students had become the teachers, and the lesson was just beginning.